to the rescue. For all of you Eagle fans, there's only one man that can save you, and he is the co-host of Birds 365. Please hit the like button. Here he is, Big Z.
What up, Big Sills?
What's going on, my friend? How are you doing, my good friend?
I cannot complain, brother. Good day. 8 days out from the season opener. Big Sills. Life is good, brother.
Absolutely. They got to sign Trent, Nick. If they don't sign Trent, they're going to be in trouble in that opener against the Jets.
The Niners are screwed. Has anybody in the chat went and looked at what their cap hits are in the coming years? And they haven't even gotten half these guys under contract. They are screwed.
And the quarterback's next.
Yeah, right. Without the quarterback, I mean, they still got a lot of guys to get under contract. They are not in a good spot cap-wise. So thank Howie Roseman today, everybody.
Howie, oh yeah, we go there with Howie. Hey, by the way, let's start out with that topic that I just talked about. In your opinion, I give Howie Roseman 20% credit for the 2017 Super Bowl, and I give Dougie P 80%. Does Howie Roseman need to, I don't want to say validate because he got him there in 22, but he showed you in 22 one thing. He may know how to build a team. He don't know how to build a coaching staff. You tell me, does he need to have another Super Bowl on his resume for people in Philly to go, that guy was the greatest general manager in Eagle history?
Well, regardless of however you slice the credit out, he was the general manager when we won our first Super Bowl. So, look, I get it. I'm just saying, I don't think Howie needs to do anything to earn anything other than be a great general manager year after year. I think it would be great to get hardware. Obviously, that's why we're doing it. But I don't think Howie has to do that in order for him to get respect. I mean, I think I think that ship has sailed. We won the Super Bowl. I do agree with you. I think it was more Doug. But listen, Howie made some key moves during that year. Leading up to those seasons, it's correct to say Howie Roseman was not as good of a general manager building the teams with Carson Wentz as he has been with Jalen Hurts. Just look at the team now compared to what it was, back with Carson Wentz.
But the long move, the LeGarrette Blount move, the Adai move,
the Jay Ajayi move, some of those moves, man, that just I truly believe they put us over the top that year. And so he deserves some credit for that. But when you beat Tom Brady and Bill Belichick with a backup quarterback, your coach deserves some credit, as does the players on the football field, as does the backup QB. So, but no, Howie still got the Super Bowl. I think Howie's been on a mission, though, man. He said it on WIP today. I know he's just obviously going to say what everybody wants to hear, but look, I really think he's backed it up. It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to, go and sign the guys you've signed. Go and extend AJ Devontae. Go and sign Saquon Barkley when you're not used to signing running backs. Go and trade a third rounder for a third receiver, even when you might have needed it, but you didn't really need it. He wants to show that he's going to do whatever it takes, he believes, to put us over the top. And I think he deserves credit for that, even if he makes some bad moves in that process.
See, Zander Krause used to be a Philadelphia Eagle fan and a real Philadelphia sports fan because now he's giving you credit for showing up to the exam, taking the bar and failing it.
No, I'm just being real. We have one Super Bowl.
You are being real. He showed up to the bar exam and failed.
Well,
I mean, just because you build a nice team doesn't mean you're getting any other. That's like saying Kyle Shanahan doesn't have to win anything because Kyle Shanahan has really built a nice team with John Lynch. At the end of the day,
that's not entirely true because only one team can win the Super Bowl every year. So you can't justify a GM entirely on Super Bowls. I see what you're saying. You need to win to get it. But to justify Howie Roseman's existence on every GM in the league would be fired. Constantly.
But the owner has made him the best manager and the best GM in the league. Why? You know why? Because he allows the bag of money.
I don't think you can take it down. I don't think you can. I think you're knocking Howie a little bit too much. I see what you're saying. I like Doug too over that, but I think you got to give Howie some credit, man. I think that's a guy that doesn't. I know he's a Gator. I know you got your problems with him, but look, I respect a guy that is willing to look in the mirror, figure out where they went wrong, face the music, and then go out and correct it and do it in the way that he's done it. So I give Howie a lot of credit. I am not a Howie hater at all. I don't think he's, does no wrong, but I do think he's a top 3. Maybe he could be the top GM in the NFL right now in the last couple of
Over
years.
Brett Veach? I doubt it.
Well, Brett Veach is a different game, man. He got Patrick Mahomes, so that move alone might make him the best GM in the NFL. Yes, but he's playing it just like every other argument. You're like, yeah, you can't count Mahomes. Same concept. You think? Wait a second.
So wait a minute. That defense.
No. Let me finish. You think that team last year and the year before, they've won the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. You think that team is more talented than the Eagles roster from a GMing perspective? No, me neither. So my point is that Howie does a better job.
I think they're more balanced.
Brett Veach has the hardware because he's got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
And Steve Spagnuolo.
Well, yeah, but
okay. Remember,
Steve Spagnuolo is not the reason. I mean, he's a part of the. He's a part of the team, Sills.
Dude, they got 7 Super Bowl championships between the two, Spagnuolo and the head coach.
I understand. I like Steve Spagnuolo too.
Do you really?
Let's not act like that's not mostly Patrick Mahomes there, the reason that they've won back-to-back Super Bowls.
I'm not suggesting that, but I'm saying this. They're not going to win that. If that football team was carried by that defense last year all the way
early last year, yeah. Look, Steve, football is a team game. It's never one person. It's never one GM. It's never one quarterback. It's always a team game. So Steve, yeah, he deserves credit. But to sit here and say Brett Veach is a better GM than Howie because he has more Super Bowls is not true.
Huh. Really? So what separates Howie being the best then?
Howie has a better roster. Brett Veach has the better quarterback, so he's got the Super Bowl.
You don't have a better defensive roster. You don't have a better 53 than Kansas
you just
City.
told me you think we have a better roster than them.
No, I think you have. I'll recant that. You have more talent on your roster, but you're not a better 53 than them. They're more balanced. Howie even said it himself. You're top heavy.
I think that's debatable. So I see what you're saying.
You're top heavy.
Well, we are a little top heavy right now, but that's all right. Would you rather be top heavy or low or bottom
I'd rather
heavy?
be balanced. Balanced rosters win.
Yeah, but it's a lot. Again, you're comparing us to the guy that has Superman at quarterback. There's only one of them.
Do you think you're better than every other team? You're better than San Francisco? You think you're better than San Francisco?
I think that's the one roster you could probably argue maybe have us beat. And Detroit this year is close, but I like our offense better than Detroit's. Detroit, I think, probably has a better defense with some of the
and offensive line.
Offensive line, Detroit's is nasty. I'm not as big on Jared. I like Jared Goff. I'm actually higher on him than most, but I'm not quite at the elite level that I think Jalen Hurts is at. So that knocks them down for me. But no, yeah, there's a couple other rosters out there. But look at San Francisco. Look at what their next 5 years looks like, and then look at the Eagles. Look at the dude in Cleveland who just signed Deshaun Watson.
They restructured that deal.
Yeah, well, they got a $75 million cap hit, man, coming up. They are going to be in cap hell forever.
They restructured it today. They restructured it.
I know they did, but there's only so much you can restructure. I read all about the restructure. They're still going to be in cap hell, which shows you
it's $45 million.
It's also it is Lurie a little bit, but Howie's playing a different ball game than some of these guys. He's a top GM out there for sure. I
want to ask this question one more time to you here. Do you believe going into this year that your 2024 Philadelphia Eagle roster, with the greatness of Orenthal Burks being added to the 53-man roster today, is better than the 23 Philadelphia Eagle roster that won 11 games, had the 8th best offense in the league, and averaged 27 points a game?
Are you talking about the no-holes defense? Is that
no-holes defense? That's what I'm talking about.
Are you telling me we've added Oren Burks to the no-holes defense?
Unbelievable.
So we could be going 17-0 after that move.
Okay, with Orenthal Burks being added to the roster, this makes this thing look like gangrene. You had no-name defense with the Dolphins back in the Super Bowl days. Now you have the no-holds defense in Philly. Way to go, Zander. You had Kenny Flickett. Now you have the no-holes defense. You feeling better about this roster than you did a year ago?
I'm feeling better about the team than I did a year ago. I think remember, last year everybody came in slightly jaded, whether you were a fan, a reporter, an analyst, or a player, or a coach on the team. You were coming off a Super Bowl. When you come off a Super Bowl and you lose, your expectation is by default, get back and win. And I think everybody viewed that from a somewhat, skewed lens, if you will, whether it was a fan lens, a reporter lens, a Dan Sileo lens, I don't know what kind of lens that is, but
truthful lens.
I think you view it skewed. I think we view it from a more objective point of view now. And I think the team is better positioned overall. Maybe the roster, it's tough to say this roster is better when you lose guys like Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox and Hassan Reddick, who is your most productive defensive player. It's tough to say. I think the offense is better. I mean, they added Saquon. They lost Queasy. Dotson's an upgrade from Queasy, at least. So I think the offense is better. You lost Kelce, so you could argue the line maybe took a step back. But no, I think the offense is better. I think the defense is probably about the same. You did add CJ. You added some youth at corner that's unproven, so I get where you're going to push me back on that. But I'm confident in Quinyon Mitchell. I think he's going to be a good player. And I'm confident in one of the two, Isaiah or Keely Ringo, being a competent corner up to what James Bradbury was last year, which wasn't that great of a bar. So linebackers are a question, but they were a question last year. They weren't great last year. So obviously there were Nick Morrow and Shaq Leonard and Zach Cunningham. So I think it's pretty easy to improve from that position. And I think how much better Jalen Carter is going to be this year will make up for at least some of what you lose with Fletcher Cox. Not all of it yet, but got to see that to believe that. But I think the defense, I think we're fine. And I think we have better coaches. I think we have better coordinators this year. So that means as a whole, I think the team is better positioned to make a run this year than they were last year. And now hindsight is 2020, but still.
We missed that super chat. If you could post that.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
Let's pull this up. Anybody, by the way, all super chats go to the top. We so appreciate it. If Vic stinks, we should hire Tim Waltz at DC. I heard he's a legend on the gridiron. Yeah,
I'll pass on that. Thank you.
You know what? I'd rather have Mike Vrabel.
I'd rather have Sean Desai. I'd rather have who's the guy that took over last year? Matt Patricia. Give me Matt Patricia over that.
Yeah, I heard he's a legend too on the gridiron, man. I heard he led the All-State team to the Triple City title up there in Wisconsin. I can't wait. I'll let you run through your topics and we can debate. I cannot wait. Let's go.
Give you my list of overrated quarterbacks and my updated 2024 Philadelphia Eagles win prediction.
Oh,
it's sitting at 13-4. Sills has been teasing that I might change it. That will come at the end of the interview.
Hey, all I know is that thing. Here's what I would say. I did it yesterday. Let me see if I can do it off the top of my head. Let's see. Hurts, number one, of course, most overrated. Number two. I would probably go. Let's see here. I put Kyler Murray on this list. I would put Tua on this list. I would put Lawrence on this list. And I would probably put Geno. If I had to rank them, Geno's 5, Lawrence 4, Tua 3, Murray 2, Hurts 1. There's your most overrated quarterbacks.
You had Jalen Hurts at number 1?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. What are you, Nick Wright, dude?
No, I think he's overrated. Once again, I've never seen – boy, I'll tell you what. I've never seen a quarterback in pro football history since the salary cap era have more talent around him than this guy. Holy shit. Hey, get this and do me a favor on your list that you're going to have.
Yep.
You ready?
I'm ready.
So the number one player in pro football, according to NFL.com, is Tyreek Hill, right? That's who the players that's who the players voted on.
Yeah, that's dumb, but okay.
Okay, well, there was a list the other day that players voted on overrated. So the players voted Tyreek Hill as the number one player in the NFL. Then explain this to me. You're telling me the Kansas City Chiefs got rid of the best player in pro football according to the players, and they won 2 in a row and they're better? How do you trade a guy who's the best player in the game off your team and you're better? Zander, how do you do that? How is Kansas City, who doesn't have the best player according to the players, does not have the best player in the league, but the best player in the league's Tyreek Hill? And Tyreek Hill is traded off the team in Kansas City's better. And he's in his prime.
What's your point, though?
My point is those lists are full of shit with players voting.
Okay.
Look at the optics.
Well,
use your eyeballs.
I didn't even say the name Josh Allen, and you're already in a tizzy.
I haven't mentioned Josh. Dude, I don't. When Tom Brady and Peyton Manning say he's the second best quarterback in the league, no matter what anybody says, it sounds nice. It's a good conversation. But
okay, where did Tom say that, or are you paraphrasing that?
Allen number 2. It's okay. Hey, in case you know, you can go to that fascist internet web search place called Google. Tom Brady top 5 quarterbacks.
Yes, this is correct, Prince. They actually stopped this in, I think, week 11 up to week 11. Well, yeah, so I don't know if it's week 11 they stopped, but they don't do the list late in the year. And you could even argue that Hurts would have went down, though. So be careful what you say there, because Hurts at the end of the year obviously had a different end than he did beginning of the year when he's 10-1. So
ESPN had him 33, 30 best player in the league at the top 100. Jalen
sounds about right.
You think he's the 33rd? I think he's a little higher.
It's really hard for me to.
I think he's high. I think he's higher than that.
Yeah, it's tough for me to put all the positions together. It's like I can't. How do I compare Jalen Hurts to a defensive tackle, or a cornerback, or a linebacker, or an offensive lineman?
About the best players.
It's tough to. I prefer to do it by position, but I get it. I get why they do it. So.
Orenthal Burks. Let's go over a little bit of the players and what they said the last 2 days.
Okay, you don't want me to give you my top 5, do you?
I want to hang in there to the very end here.
All right, you can hang on there.
Hey, I'm going to hang in there until the very end.
All right, let's do it.
I like this Britton Covey kid, man.
Yeah, Britton Covey's great, man. I think he deserves a bigger role. Have you ever watched his tape in college?
Yeah, Utah.
I'm not saying I know it's a different game, but he has the ability, I think, to really create some space, and he's proven that in practice here, even in Philly, and especially in this training camp. Where
I think he could be an Edelman or Amendola type guy.
Is he too small?
They performed out of the slot.
He's too small, though, I think, to be that consistently. But I would like to see him get out there and at least give him a shot at it. But I understand why they don't want to go that route. It does make sense to me. He's like 5'7", dude. I mean, you remember when he first pulled up to the NovaCare the link, the security guards are like, "Who the hell are you, dude? Get out of here. Go back to your South Philly home," because they didn't think this guy was a football player. So I get why they don't go that route, but I definitely like Britton Covey. He's a hungry dude, and he plays hard, and he leaves it all out there, which I respect.
Senor goes, wasn't Sills talking shit on Covey when he skipped out on Sills' show? He never skipped out on my show. Actually, I was talking shit on him, and he apologized to me. And now that's why he follows me on Twitter.
We had the little tiff with Britton Covey.
We did, but now he follows me. And
he's cool with us.
And get this. I actually congratulated him on making a 53. And in the process, I got called racist because I congratulated him and he liked it. And he sent me a message behind it. He goes, "Man, you really appreciate it a lot." I go, "Hey, man, making a 53-man roster, being a special teams guy, and being called crash test dummy." I go, "That's pretty awesome, man." He goes, "Yeah, I'm just hoping for a bigger role." And you know what else he said? He goes, "The coaches and the players." You know what he said? The biggest thing that was the difference in this camp for him, the way Jalen and the coaches talked to him.
Yeah,
he felt like he was part of the group.
That's
last year he didn't.
Well, I think that's because Kellen Moore's offense requires you to be in communication with all of your guys. If they're on the field, you got to be in communication. Doesn't matter what slot they're at. You could be tight end too. You could be the 11th guy out there in terms of importance, but you're going to have to be involved. And I think that's partly Kellen Moore's system, which is communication heavy. There's a lot of motion. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of spreading around of the football. So I think that goes into it, but it's good to hear. I mean, look, you got to earn your way in the league. So it's good to know that he's grinded through it and has earned his way, but let's see it on the field,
I absolutely hear. This was my favorite interview so far of the players that got on the mic this preseason for the Eagles was Fred Johnson.
Yeah, it was awesome. I talked about it this morning on Birds. Incredible.
Let me tell you something, man. When you hear a player talk about a coach saving one's career, and you hear him the way he talked and you bring these comments up, he goes like this. He goes, I just have to mentally stay focused. He said, when Nick brought up I was doing so well, it got back to me. I blew up the next day. I had my worst practice. He goes, but here, they asked him if he wanted to play guard. He goes, hey, I'll play anywhere these people want me to play. He also came down and he goes like this, Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata go to him and go, stop overthinking shit. Just stop overthinking, Fred. And then Fred went on to say this, Jeff Stoutland coached me when I was on the scout team the same way he coaches Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson. There's no difference in coaching. And I thought to myself, that guy could coach high school kids, little bitty football kids, college kids. He could coach anybody on the planet, and it's why he's the best coach the Eagles have had in that building since Jim Johnson. What a fucking amazing coach. To hear a guy go, you know what he kept saying to me? I'm not quitting on you. I'm not quitting on you. Do you know what and how cool that is to hear a guy that accomplished looking you in the face going, I believe in you and I'm not quitting on you? Zander, it's more than just, hey, line up, make sure you get your head and you're slipping and scooping up to the third level. It's more than that, man. I mean, he is really an exceptional, he goes, even his technique is different. So you have to be fundamentally focused. And he goes, hey, I was almost out of the league. This guy saved me. I mean, I'll tell you, I loved it. I thought everything you want in a coach is that man right there.
No doubt. And I'm sure that one hits home for you, especially Sills, when you hear a guy that plays on the line, a guy that, you know, you heard John talk about him. He's like, when Fred first got here, he almost acted like he didn't belong because he just never envisioned it for him. I don't know what it was, but John worded it beautifully on Birds 365. And when you hear him take that type of jump and speak so candidly about it at the podium, I was the only guy brought up today from press conferences with John, just because I heard the bite. And I'm like, it was almost heartwarming in a way, Sills, where you're like, you feel for the guy, you respect him more because of it. And, you know,
emotional.
He sounds like he's a different man now. And he knows that, you know, when you become a different man, that requires you to be a different person, to act a different way, to do things a different way. And, you know, to see someone do that, I think is like I said, it's a little bit heartwarming. It's emotional. It was great. It was a great interview. I would encourage every Eagle fan to go and listen to that. It was dope. It was good.
How about this? When you make an O-line like the Lions, the Eagles, the Ravens, Falcons, Cleveland, whoever's considered top 5 guys, and you make one of those teams, dude, you have a job in this league for the next 10, 15 years because you're being coached by some of the best. And now get this. Let me carry this over to Becton. This is why Becton came here. Was exactly why Fred was talking. Is exactly because of that. Zander, that could play a factor in him taking hometown discount to stay in a place where he knows.
Well, let's see how good he is. We're talking about a guard. I mean, he's played tackle, so I like Becton. I don't know how good he's going to be at guard, though.
I don't either, but get this. He's starting there now for.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Absolutely. Let me say it again about A.J. Brown at the press conference.
All right.
I got to tell you, man, AJ talks like Big Sills, and I loved it. He was asked about Dotson. He goes, he's a hard worker. I liked him. I liked him in college. I saw him as a route runner. He goes like this. He goes, you know, he's going to have an opportunity. And I agree with you, Zander. He's got to do it. But you know what AJ said? He's going to have every freaking opportunity because coverage is towards Devontae and AJ, that he's going to have a chance to reinvent his career. Whether he takes advantage of that or not is yet on the player, right? It's on the player. But this offense is going to give Jahan Dotson an opportunity to resurrect his career where people think of him at least as a 2.
No doubt about it. I love AJ. There's been no player Sills is more wrong about than AJ Brown.
I never said he was bad. I said
you called him a diva, and I don't.
He is a diva.
I don't see diva with that guy at all. I don't see one. I don't even see a smidge.
I love the Patriots. Oh, they're my favorite grown-up.
I don't even see a smidge of diva in him. Not a smidge.
I love the Patriots when Tom was there. I wish I got drafted instead of N'Keal Harry. Oh my God. All the postings and shit. Then he
Dude, you're
got his
making
little
shit
deal.
up. Who
He's
cares
just
if
a
he said that?
he's a
Who wouldn't have
baby.
wanted to get drafted with Tom Brady as a
He's
wide
a
receiver?
baby. Oh,
He's not a baby.
he cried his weight. He got his deal.
He's not
Hey,
a diva
listen,
at
I said he's
all.
good. He's good.
He's not a diva even a little bit. And to top it off, he not only is he not a diva, he's the most productive receiver we've ever had in Philadelphia in a 2-year span. And I think he's on track to be maybe one of the best receivers we've ever had in Philadelphia.
Two things can be the same. Two things can be true. He's a moaner and he's good.
All right. I mean, I don't agree. I don't see the diva. And look, like some people are saying, diva's not bad. I mean, diva, Sills makes diva sound bad. Having a little diva in you is good, but I don't view the way
I have no diva in me at all.
Oh my gosh. Sills, I've never met a heel like you in my life.
Yes, you had. You know who he is? The Road Warriors.
Yeah, whoever find who's the biggest heel in WWE right now. If you're a WWE fan in the chat, who's the biggest heel out there? I'll put Big Sills up against him.
I'm more of a pacifist. I am not a heel here. I am not the bad guy of Philly. How about this here though? He was asked the question. He goes, "Do you think that this offense?" And of course, Xander's already got a massive prediction headed our way here soon. AJ Brown was asked, "Do you think this offense will be better than 23?" He goes like this. Time will tell. I don't know yet. I don't know how this. He goes like this. I have no idea how this is going to work yet. That's camp. That's not really a game. Isn't it funny how Big Sills talks this way? And all you media guys like Zander Krause and everybody at IP and 97.5. Holy shit. He was 190,000 and 0 on picks in camp. Wow. And you have AJ going like this. That's practice and that's camp. That's not real football. And he's saying, I don't know how it's going to work. Get this. Devontae said the same thing. He asked the question.
What a common NFL answer at a press conference. That
he goes like this.
Sileo was blowing it up.
Wait a minute. Here's the deal. Well, AJ didn't suffer last year. Guy had almost 1,600 yards. He didn't suffer.
No, he didn't.
Hey, that shows you right. Wait, that shows you his diva mentality. Is this offense going to be better than a year ago? You know why he didn't say, yeah, it is? Because last year he got his numbers. It got my numbers just because everybody else didn't
get run-of-the-mill answer, Sills. It's a run-of-the-mill answer. It's a political answer.
Yeah, of course, cover. Here we go. Holy cow, you sound like CNN.
Whatever, Sileo. Whatever.
Hold on here. Here's Devontae. He goes like this. He's like, hey, what do you make of the offense? He goes, well, I'm not sure what we have right now. That's practice. We'll see how it works. We have to get everybody on the field, and we'll see what the options look like. I think everything's going to be a week-to-week situation. They absolutely, both of them, love the Dotson situation, and I think they understand that that's a 3 role. They're not talking about 1 or 2. So, again, Zander, he's going to have his opportunity, but I loved how Devontae
going to make both of their lives easier. I think they know that.
Hey, by the way, I think it's really awesome to hear both AJ and Devontae go, well, let's see how it works against Green Bay next Friday. I think that's fair, don't you?
They were political answers to me. I think you missed the lead on the day, which was the Jalen Hurts comment about Kelsey and the protections and being eager to learn more. Was halted. So I thought that was an interesting comment, but I thought the receivers gave you a whole lot of nothing. But leave it to Sills to come up here and turn them into divas.
Hold on. I'm not finished yet. I'm going to bring Carson Wentz up.
Okay.
And Jalen Hurts.
I'm a Carson guy. I like Carson. I have no problem with Carson Wentz.
So let me ask you this. Did you here, I got to, kind of dissect this because we got to be careful here because Zander says, I see things a different way than, by the way, hold on for a minute. Hey, Prince, we're going to get to your thing here in a second here, but let me do this here, Zander. Let's do this here, man. Don't forget.
That's a low blow. I'm not even bringing that up. That's a low blow, Prince.
Look at Prince here. Look at this.
Low blow, Prince.
Guys, do me a favor this football season. Make sure you hook up with JAKIB Sports and with our friends at BetUS. Great opportunity this football season, especially if you're looking for a new betting house, 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits of up to $2,000. Absolutely your one-stop place, the home of Michael Vick. And right now, again, like I said, great opportunities for you to be able to get involved. Even I think tonight where North Dakota State and also Colorado with Deion Sanders and his team takes the field tonight. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business, 24/7 personalized service. Fastest payouts, as I said, in the business and live wagering on all major games. Let's go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Let me say this to you, folks. You're going to understand something of what I've been talking about between Jalen Wentz and what's happened with the last two quarterbacks. We'll do that in a second.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
Appreciate you guys coming aboard here. Zander, you unmuted?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Hey, Abe, thanks for keeping an eyeball on that too. Guys, please keep hitting the like button here. So I'm going to paraphrase this, and you tell me if I'm off the rails on this. Did you take away that Jalen Hurts' comments that maybe Jason Kelce, with the protections that he set, when he was told basically that he didn't have to worry about pass protection or worry about any kind of stuff like that, do you think he's throwing a small shot across the bow saying, hey, you know, they took a part of the game that is part of a quarterback growing and developing as a progression reader of knowing where the blitzes are coming from? Because if you don't know where pressure comes from, at the end of the day, bro, you're not helping that quarterback grow, are you?
No, you're right. And I kind of took it as that way too. It was almost Jalen's way of like, the one thing I didn't like about it is
I don't think it's a shot at him. I think it's a shot at them.
No, I think he's more like so hell bent on bringing awareness to the fact that he believes he was hindered from things that weren't entirely up to him. And I'm okay with that, but I don't know. I did sense like a little, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. People are
I think you're right.
I think I'm sensing a little bit of like no accountability from Jalen sometimes. Like where last year, you remember when the Seattle game happened and AJ Brown got up there and he's like taking full responsibility. You know, the coach did, the coordinator did. John to this day says the only guy who's never taken accountability for that was Jalen Hurts. He's the only one who now what we hear from Jalen isn't everything, right? He might have taken it behind the scenes.
He might have stood up in front of the team. No one knows.
Right. Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Maybe he did, but you know, he's got it down to a science in the press conferences on how to, you know, kind of skate by the accountability part of it. It's almost like, you know, everybody says I suck at blitzes. Well, Jason Kelce picked up the blitzes, so I was halted at learning. Like maybe it wasn't that. Maybe I'm overthinking it a little bit, but I did sense a little bit there. I'm like, come on, Jason Kelce's out the door. Kid doesn't even have a chance to answer for himself. He's gone. And you're throwing it all on that. I thought it was kind of meh. I didn't really care one way or the other, but I wasn't like thrilled with it.
I hope
Jason's better though that he has it. I will say that.
I hope he answers that on that New Heights podcast. I'd like to hear what he have to say about that.
I think he will, because he does address most things on that New Heights show, but I don't know. I don't know if he will or not. By the way, I do think it's a good thing though that Jalen's got him, that has control over it now, because we've talked about it from jump, sink or swim for Jalen. Like we're going to see it all this year.
How about this? So if Jalen feels that way and is the first guy to come out publicly and say that he felt that the progression of his development at quarterback in Philly was hampered because he had no control of handling pressure and that it was handled by someone else other than the quarterback, how do you know they didn't do the same fundamental technique and maturing of Carson Wentz, and why Wentz held on to the ball too long, how Wentz didn't know where pressure was coming, how he didn't know any of that? How do you know that whole thinking process didn't become the unraveling also of Wentz? I'm not saying that Carson Wentz has the same mettle that Jalen has, and he fell apart. And
Jalen, no way to know that.
Jalen fell apart too, but Jalen fell apart too last year.
Yeah,
he fell apart too.
There's no way to know that, and you're right. You do draw a fair correlation that as an Eagles fan, you can't just look past. No doubt, maybe it was a thing. I will say, you know, Wentz is, a lot of people hate Wentz. And like I said, I have no bad blood toward Wentz. He's the reason we have a Super Bowl in this town. Look, I love the Nick Foles story, but that doesn't happen without what Carson Wentz did that year. So I like Carson Wentz. Obviously it ended sour here, but Wentz, if you look at the rosters he had over the years, they didn't compare to what Jalen's had to work with, that's not a fault of Jalen. But
or
to say,
quarterbacks would want a GM like that.
right, exactly. You want a GM like that, but Howie wasn't operating at the same caliber when Wentz was here. So I think it's a tough to compare the two for me, but
they both unraveled.
They both unraveled. You and the unravel. What the unravel?
I think going from 6 picks to 15 is unraveling.
Okay, what about Josh Allen's 18?
And 4 straight AFC East titles, and he's got same.
Wait a second. Earlier in this interview, didn't you just try and knock
Mahomes? Wait, he's got a higher win percentage than Jalen.
In what?
Winning football games since Jalen's been in the league.
I don't know if that's true.
Really? Well, he does. He's got a 67% win percentage since Jalen's been in the league.
Okay, Josh Allen has a 67% career win percentage. Let's see what Jalen Hurts is, because Jalen Hurts is pretty high. 60. So, yeah, you're right. Josh Allen does have
He's won more games than him in the AFC. You guys all hang on that turnover. He's got 10 more turnovers than Mahomes in the same time since 2020. You play in the AFC, you're going to get beat by Burrow and Allen and all them other guys, or in Mahomes. But here, let me go back to here. Hey, Zander, do you not see the same characteristics that Jalen had at the back end of the season by holding the ball too long and doing this? Tell me who this is. I'm going to do an improv for you. Sack.
Wentz.
Hey, look, Wentz and Hurts.
Wow. Didn't Wentz have a game where he got sacked? How many? I don't know. What was the most sacks he ever took in a game?
I've never seen
I don't even think it was with the Eagles.
Hey,
I think it was, yeah.
I keep going like this. 3, 2, 3, down, field goal, touchdown. We're in. We're down 10. Dude, but they coached you. I get this. The fact that the organization had Jason Kelce handling the blitzes stopped the development last year of Jalen Hurts.
Sills, can I say something before I answer your question? You're burying the lead, Sills. You're burying the lead.
I don't bury nothing. I don't even know what the frig you're talking about. All I know is this, Junior. All I know is this. Didn't Jason Kelce hurt Jalen Hurts' development a year ago?
Well, you're not
his
wrong.
own admission.
I will read you the quote exactly so that we're not spreading fake news, okay? In the light of Sills acting like CNN is present. In the light of squashing all fake news, I will read the quote directly.
There you go. Read it off.
We had a great player in Jason Kelce who took on a lot of responsibility. And as a
backhanded slap.
Let me finish.
Backhanded slap.
Such an
when you always soften it up with a backhanded slap before you go for the heart.
You're right, though. It's sad that you're right. And as a result of that, I was told not to worry about a lot of things. And so my eagerness to learn over the years kind of was halted. But now times are different. It is a little bit of an odd comment, right?
Here, watch. You know, we had a great player. Boom. And this is why it fucking sucked.
This is why it sucked for me. Yeah. Bang. Another slap. You're right. You're right. Look, I tell you when you're wrong, Sills, but I'll tell you when you're right. You're definitely right on that one. That's an interesting comment there.
Dude, and get this. Will you not agree that that's kind of the second or third time he's hinted at that?
Yeah. Oh, no. And that's why I wonder if he's almost just using it now to skate under some of what people have criticized about him from last year. And
that guy hides from – I don't know about hiding.
He doesn't strike me as that type of personality. I can only go off of his appearances in the media, though. I don't see him behind the scenes. I took John at his word. I did ask John off the record one time, yo, what's it like behind the scenes? And he's like, Jalen's the same guy, but I'm not there either. I can't tell you if he took accountability to the team or not. I've never seen it. I only have him when I have him, but Jalen will talk to those guys off the record a little bit, but he's what you see is what you get with Jalen, which I like. I think that's a good thing.
All right. Finally, we're here now. Let's do Zander Krause's 5 most overrated quarterbacks in pro football. I have Hurts, Murray, Tua, Lawrence, and
but you didn't have Tua on yours yesterday.
I know. I can't think of the other guy who I had on there because I don't think Tua is really. I can't think of the other guy I had. I can't think of the guy. I think I know I had Murray. I had Lawrence. I don't believe I put Cousins on there. You know, he's considered one of the.
Did you have Dak on there?
That's it.
We had 3 of the same. It's yeah. I mean, I don't know how many.
I had Dak on there. You're right. All right, Zander.
Number 5, Trevor Lawrence from Jacksonville. I think he's way overrated. I think people are still living on what he did at Clemson. Got to see it, young man. It's time for you to do it. They put receivers around you. They've tried to bolster up that offensive line. You have a coach that won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles and Doug Peterson. I think the excuses are up for him, and he got the big money now. I don't know why. I guess they gave him the big money because what else are you going to do? But Trevor Lawrence, number 5 for me. Number 4, another overlap with Sills, Kyler Murray. He actually could be argued as number 1 on this list because of what he makes.
He beat Hurts last year.
Oh, good. What else? What has he won in the league? He has been a nothing burger, and he is severely overrated. He's number 4 on my list. Number 3, the greatest regular season quarterback in the history of regular season quarterbacks, Dak Prescott. Number 3, overrated QB in the league. Number 2, the man who's been living on the big arm his whole life. He's won approximately nothing in the NFL. Justin Herbert, the Chargers quarterback.
Tremendous talent.
And they're still, I love his talent. I don't care if he doesn't win games.
Great talent. That's why he's paid.
Overrated quarterback. Number 1 on the Zander Krause list of overrated quarterbacks, Josh Allen, 5-5 in the playoffs, 0 Super Bowl appearances, 18 interceptions last season. The most overrated player in the game today is
not
Josh
true. Tom
Allen.
Brady, second best quarterback in pro football, baby. Remember that, kid. Okay? Let the GOAT help you out. The GOAT will help you out.
Listen.
And he will redeem you and help you. Let's see what here Michael has to say. That's a shitty list.
That's a great list.
It's more of a shot at poor offensive philosophies. It's been surrounded by over the past 4 years. Can the guy have the same OC? No! Michael! Jalen Hurts will never have consistency in coaching in Philadelphia. Get used to it. He's never going to. But a shit top 5. Here, by the way, here's my by the way.
So that was the best 5 overrated quarterback list you will find anywhere on the internet. That was phenomenal.
All right. Here are the 5 most overrated Eagles.
Oh, wow. I don't have that list.
Team. Here are your 5 most overrated. Number 5, a guy who's played center field and robbed banks like he was Jesse James without a gun. Darius, no big play Slay. He's overrated. He plays 10 yards off the ball. You paying a guy $10 million for what? Playing center field, high cover 2? Give me a break. You paid a guy number 4 $51 million, and this guy belongs on a milk carton or in a teepee with smoke coming out of it. Giving us, where is Bryce Huff? Can you see those TP clouds, please? It's like Aaron Rodgers blowing dubs in a cave. Number 3, Jordan Davis. Like Brian Baldinger said the other day, told me, kid, you haven't done dick in 2 years. Number 2, you've got Kate Smith, a.k.a. Nolan Smith, at number 2. Haas, number 30. Hey, by the way, what'd you think of me saying that yesterday about playing him only on 3rd down and turning him into a Bryce Huff kind of player for Philly and at least pass rushing him out of the 3rd round because he's not a 3-down guy. Don't try to make him into one, man. Put him out there on 3rd down. Zander, if you get out of 450 plays, 10 sacks out of the kid, is that worth it?
Well, if he gets 10 sacks, yeah, but you're telling me we spent a 1st-round draft pick on a guy that can only play 3rd down?
I'm trying to save the pick.
I know you are, but you got to admit defeat in order to save it that way. So that would be
I am.
Yeah, I know you are, but I don't think the organization's gonna.
And the number 1, Jimmy Dean, no Kobe Dean. Those are your 5 most overrated Eagles. And unfortunately,
you don't have Jalen Hurts on that list, did you?
they are all, I'm talking league-wise, he's overrated. He's not on his team, he's not. Funny, they're all on defense. Howie! All right, I got one last one here for you before you get the hell out of here. Let me show you this. So who do you think this is more 2024 on this year? Hurts or Roseman?
What do you mean on?
If this season bombs, are you going to look more at...
It's not on Howie Roseman.
So if Howie's defense ends up 26th again, he didn't do anything to improve the football team. You're saying that's not on a guy?
Well, here's the problem. With this topic is going to naturally leave out way too much context. Why did Howie spend so much money on the offense?
Because the owner told him to.
The owner told him to. Jalen Hurts needed receivers. They needed to prioritize there's all sorts of things. To say that Howie Roseman could have done that to the defense would negate why he did it in the offense in the first place. He spent now draft picks. How many draft picks has he spent, first rounders, on defense? You can't do much. When you sign A.J. Brown and Devontae and all of these offensive linemen and Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, you can't do that on defense too. You have to build it a different way. So he gave you draft picks. He gave you Nolan Smith. He gave you Jordan Davis. He gave you Jalen Carter, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Keely Ringo, Nakobe Dean.
Some of those guys gave me a nosebleed.
Josh Sweat. All of these guys are first 3-round picks. Like he's invested assets. I'm fine with what he did. But when you invest that type of money in capital and contracts and offense, you can't do the same on defense. So I'm not going to knock Howie for spending draft picks on defense. I can't.
Okay, so you didn't have a problem with it. Was the wide receiver number 3 more of a problem than linebacker or safety?
No, but that also leaves
out. You gave a 3 up.
See, here's the problem. If you trade for a wide receiver 3, you can find that in a player that another team doesn't want anymore, because he doesn't need to be your top guy. You have different expectations for him at wide receiver 3 than a team would. When you trade for a linebacker, we have a bunch of backups. I don't need a backup linebacker. I need a great linebacker. I need a starting caliber difference maker. In order to do that, you have to have 2 to tango, and a team has to be willing to let somebody go, or it's going to be a contract dispute, and you got to bring him in and pay him.
3 is a pretty big pick for a guy at third wide receiver.
I agree. I never disputed that. I'm just saying that we don't know that he could have made the same move on defense and gotten an impact player for that type of compensation. I don't believe he could have. So
hang on. I got to take a sip of. I got to take a sip of my rum and coke. He gives up a 3 for Jahan Dotson.
Crowley, you couldn't be more right. Sills is a master.
No. Sills is without a doubt always point on everything, and I'll be point on this.
Look at Tony Zanni drinking your Kool-Aid, putting Jalen Hurts as an overrated quarterback.
Oh, that's who I had. Way to go, Tony! I had Derek Carr on that list.
Tony. Oh, is that might be Sills' list, Tony.
List.
Okay, he's not giving his own list. He's
Tony,
giving
that's it. Thank you. That's my list. There it is.
Yeah, you made up some random list today.
Derek Carr, that's it, and then Hurts number 1. Hey, dog, your boys had one season, and you guys are ready.
By the way, let me answer Will. Will, I'm not losing reality at all, my friend. You're looking at it where the offense 3 years ago is where the defense was today. No A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith on a rookie contract, Jalen Hurts on a rookie contract, no Saquon Barkley,
those picks all hit.
Miles Sanders. You think 3 years down the line, you're going
to have those picks all hit.
You're going to have Jalen Carter. We know is going to hit. He's going to get a massive contract. Jordan Davis, they're going to pay. They're not going to let him walk out the room. Milton Williams is still on a rookie deal. Nolan Smith's on a rookie deal. BG is expiring. I mean, you got to give it time, because I'm not leaving out. I'm just saying this defense is a couple years back compared to what the offense is.
And that's why the Packers are going to hang 40 on you next Friday.
No, they're not. With who?
With Jordan Love.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. Jordan Love's done more in 1 year. In his first year.
No, he hasn't.
He won a playoff
What, he
game.
beat the Cowboys in the playoffs?
Wait, his first year starting, you're telling me he didn't do more than 1 year than Hurts did? Hurts' first year, he got blown out by the Bucs. He blew the Cowboys out, threw for over 4,100 yards and 30 touchdowns in his first year starting. Are you crazy? They weren't even remotely close.
He had a good year. I like Jordan Love. He's a good player, but you hit me with all the time. I've only seen it 1 year from her. I've only seen it 1 year. Let's see what he can do.
No, I completely have to see consistency.
The league got some tape on him now. Let's see what he can do. All right. If he comes out and has a big year, yeah, I'll eat crow on Jordan Love. I think he's going to be a good quarterback, by the way. But I'm not going to sit up in here and say, oh,
who has a better game next Friday?
Or a good first year starting. He's going to hang 40 on the Eagles.
Hey, on that defense? Oh, yeah, I believe so. Hey,
no.
Oh, well, because why? You have great pass rushers?
Bold prediction for week 1. Ready? Quinyon Mitchell intercepts Jordan Love.
All right, here's the final one now. We've been all waiting for this. This could be an addendum. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Zander had 14-3. Zander, have you moved the meter or the needle in any way with your bold 2024 prediction of the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, let me do this before I give you it. So for the background on those who do not know, who were not here for the duration of the summer, I will show you my official win-loss prediction. Let me pull it up on screen. Give me 1 second.
Hey, maybe the Eagles bring Tooth back.
He's already back. They put him on the practice squad.
Yeah! Tooth made it!
Okay, so here you can see what my official win-loss predictions were.
L.
Let me see. I had
L.
Let me drop the graphic real quick.
L.
So I can see.
L.
I had 13-4. I had a loss at Green Bay. I had a loss in the first week 10 Dallas at Dallas. So I had us losing the away game to Dallas. I had us losing to Baltimore, and I had us losing at Washington because they always play us close. I will officially be updating the win-loss prediction to 14 wins for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. They will win that game in Washington and sweep them. They will lose to the Packers, 1 to the Cowboys, and to the Baltimore Ravens, and they will march into the playoffs with the first seed, with the bye week, and with a 14-3 record, baby.
Big Sills has updated his.
Okay, let's hear it.
And put that thing back up there.
You want?
I say the Philadelphia Eagles start the season out because you're going on short. You're going from a Friday game in Brazil back to a Monday night football game. You're going to start the 2024 season out 0-2. You will lose to Green Bay. You will lose, as I said, to Atlanta. You will lose to Baltimore. You will lose to Dallas. You will lose to Cincinnati. You will lose to Washington. You will lose to Tampa Bay. You will lose to the Los Angeles Rams to go 9-8.
1 second. I'll give you the thing again. 9-8. That's what you have us at. You didn't change anything.
No way. Nothing's changed off that shitty defense.
Chuck Hutton says, I'm 10 drinks deep with that prediction. Chuck, love you, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Hey,
somebody has to push back on crazy Big Sills, and I'm going to be the one to do it.
11-6. Dude. Boy, you're really optimistic.
Pull that back up for a second.
Look at this here. Look at this.
Wait,
the no-holes defense is going to stop Joe Burrow.
Can you give me again what your 8 losses are?
He's going to stop Lamar Jackson. He's going to stop that no-holes defense can't stop Dak. He's 9-4 versus you.
So
I mean, come on, you make it sound like you own Dak. You don't.
Give me the 8 games you have us losing. Do you even remember?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Green Bay, you're 0-2 out of the gate.
Not losing to Atlanta. That's blasphemous.
You lose to Green Bay, Atlanta, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Dallas, Washington, Tampa Bay.
Not losing to Tampa Bay. Destroyed them in the regular season last
And
year.
were destroyed in the playoffs.
Different team in the playoffs.
Oh,
go ahead.
Look at this guy wobbling the whole deal.
Not losing to Washington and not losing to Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They can't even get their wide receiver under contract. He's moping around at training camp. Unlike our receivers who are all paid and ready to work.
You make it sound like your defense can't or beats Drew Lock. You got beat by a pizza delivery guy who's now working at Angelo's. Or no, he's at Geno's now. Come on, dog. And you hung your hat all over that practice stuff, and you even heard AJ going, practice, dog. Let's see how it looks. Don't worry, Zander. I'm here for you, man. I'm what they call a drink of reality. That's what I am. Just so you know, man. Too much rum for Sills. Mayfield, really? He beat the piss out of you. Really?
Sean, you got to talk some sense into this guy, man. I'm trying to do it.
Hey, Sean, did you forget the playoff game? Oh, yeah, that's right. You're an Eagle fan. Of course you did.
All right, so here's what we have to do. We have to come up with some sort of a bet or something that me and you can do that you have 9 wins, and I officially am coming in at 14 wins.
Let's do this.
Which means if they win 11 games, they're closer to Sills. And if they win 12 games, they're closer to me.
Let's leave it up to the people. And by tomorrow, we'll come up with something here. If you guys come up with something decent, and don't be stupid like Prince or LJ or some of these other weirdo guys. Nothing out of hand.
Prince is a JAKIB legend.
What's that?
Prince is a JAKIB legend.
He's a punk sometimes to me.
Prince, you're a JAKIB legend, brother.
Whatever.
We actually have a ton of JAKIB legends in here in this show. We have a lot of JAKIB legends. I really got to get some merch.
Okay, I'll tell you
help
what,
me with the merch. I need somebody in our viewers to help me with some merch.
I will chug a couple beers.
What if they win 14 games?
Yeah, I'll do about 3 or 4 beers. I'll chug them. I'll get hammered on the show.
So I don't think we need that.
I've already done a few of them anyway.
I don't think it's responsible of us as a company and for our people as listeners to.
By the way, just so you know, these guys do have a cutoff time where they can call Big Sills on weekends, because after a certain time, you think he's hammered. That's Big Joe talking.
My phone is set to block any correspondence from Sileo after 8 p.m. Eastern, which, by the way, is 5 p.m. his time. Tells you all you need to know.
All right, man. So what'd you say, 14-3?
14-3, baby.
With that defense, you think you're not giving you.
And another bold prediction. Your MVP of the NFL in 2024 will be Jalen Hurts with 30 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and 4,400 passing yards.
Jalen Hurts will be replaced by Baltimore by Tanner McKee. Sills will have to read a Harry Potter book on the show. Hey, Prince, tell you what I'll do for you, sweetness. I'll bring you up. I'll tell you what, I'll bring some of you idiots up on. I know what I'll do.
Wait, did you get Freddie?
Did you get Freddie on the show?
Did you get Freddie? Prince, you're distracting from our man Freddie. Did you get Freddie?
Can our defense turn it around like Kansas City? Yeah, next year.
Freddie.
Yeah, but Freddie, you don't have Patrick Mahomes.
Freddie, don't let Sills win it. You
got Jalen Wentz.
Believe in hope, Freddie. It's August 29th. Believe in optimism, Freddie. Our defense can do it. Don't let Sills get to you.
How about this? We put some of these turds like Prince on the program. We put them up, we bring them up, and they get like a segment.
I want to do something for that anyway. Did you see my show? But during the preseason game, I had a couple of our viewers on.
Yeah.
I had Bob Brown and I had Mad Bird. Is Mad Bird in here?
Hey, by the way, some of you dress up.
Mad Bird. Bird, you out there? Come on, Mad. Yeah, Mad Bird's in here. 429. That was 3 minutes ago. Mad Bird. He was great to talk to. Mad Bird is a sick. He's got like an Eagles kingdom. Kind of
try not to look like a zombie like Prince, though, when you come on the program. Look halfway decent, Prince. If you're coming on the Big Sill show, you look like you were in like a an Aaron Rodgers.
Coming from the guy who comes on here in a multicolored Miami jersey that was given to him probably in 1989.
No.
Don't be chirping at Prince. All right.
Hey.
Look at what are you wearing now, Sills? That was a free shirt given to you too.
Absolutely. This is
Put on a collar, Sills.
This is a Stanford High School shirt that was sent to me about a month ago.
Yeah. Put on a collar, Big Sills. You got to be kidding me.
This is
dude
ridiculous.
Prince
14 and
kidding me, Prince? Snap 14. Back at this guy.
Snap back. What do you think? He's smart? You're making it sound like Prince is smart.
The number one overrated quarterback
right now. Need to switch Josh Allen's turnover machine.
He is a turnover machine.
Guess what? And he wins more than Hurts. Bold prediction, 17-0.
I must have missed it. I must have been in a coma that Super Bowl when Josh Allen was in the Super Bowl. I must have missed that.
You were in the same Super Bowl as Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo and Jalen and Colin Kaepernick are in the same boat together. Wow, they got their team to a Super Bowl.
The only difference between Colin Kaepernick and Jimmy Garoppolo in the Super Bowl is Jalen Hurts threw for 360 yards, had the second highest quarterback rating in Super Bowl history, had multiple touchdowns, multiple rushing touchdowns. He was dominant that day other than the fumble. Other than the fumble, he had a perfect game.
Here is the award for the silver medal. Congratulations. And the participation trophy.
Wait.
I almost played better than Mahomes.
At least Jalen actually got a silver medal. Josh Allen's never even gotten a bronze.
Brock Purdy got to a Super Bowl last year and took the team to a fifth quarter.
Sills, they've never made the Super Bowl. The team is underachieved overwhelmingly. He turned the ball over through 18
So you're trying to tell me that
year.
You think a guy that's gone to a Super Bowl like Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Warren Moon? Because Moon never went.
I didn't say that.
Okay. Well, so that Super Bowl wait. It only works because it's against Allen and it doesn't work.
No, but you're using it to knock Jalen Hurts that he lost. If you're going to use the context that Jalen lost the Super Bowl, then I'm going to use the context Josh Allen hasn't even made it there.
So great. He's going to put.
I don't think Burrow's overrated. I think he's going to have to answer the bell though. He's been a little quiet the last couple of years. Yeah.
No, listen, all these guys do, man.
Yeah. Well, that's everybody. I mean,
but the only guy that I think actually will never win is Dak. But I do think Dak has this chance. If Dak goes somewhere else, there's a chance he can win. Okay? But he ain't winning one in Dallas. They're not winning another Super Bowl under Jerry Jones. They're just
Dak
not.
Prescott is severely overrated.
Even those numbers, he led the NFL in TD passes last year.
He's got good talent, man. How many times do we have to talk about talent isn't everything in the NFL? Talent doesn't win you Super Bowls. You are so fixated on talent.
That's how you get paid.
Okay, that's not how you win Super Bowls. Just ask Tom Brady. He grew up playing next to Aaron Rodgers, who was more talented than him in every area of the game.
I got it.
Brady was a better winner and a better player.
Not a better talent. Again, not everybody, like you said, can win a Super Bowl.
Okay, so whose career would you rather have?
I said to you about talent we were talking about. I didn't say about resumes.
Okay.
Resumes and accomplishments are different. That's why when I bring up Jared Goff, people laugh. Goff's the most accomplished player in the NFC right now, quarterback. Do you know that?
Jared Goff's a good player. I like Jared Goff.
I hate saying that.
I would put him on my underrated list, actually. I think people are
you think he's the most underrated quarterback in the NFC?
In the NFC, maybe. I think, look, I would encourage everybody that's listening right now, and I know I'm not begging you to go and watch a Lions game. I'm an Eagles fan too. I don't really care about the Lions. But when you watch the Lions game, watch Jared Goff and his ball placement. Talk about talent. He has some really good raw talent. And in Detroit, they figured out a way to make it work for them a little bit better than he could do in LA. I agree. He struggled in LA. He wasn't really the right fit for what McVay wanted to do.
A Super Bowl.
Still got to a Super Bowl, but wasn't exactly what McVay wanted in terms of his system.
True.
But I think Jared Goff is underrated by most people who watch the game. Even JM, who's saying he's a glorified game manager. JM, go watch some Jared Goff tape tonight and come back and tell me that. I really think you will change if you watch some of his tape with an open mind. He can sling the ball, man. He is a solid quarterback. If there's a tight window, He's probably a top 2 or 3 quarterback you would pick to fit it in the window. He's that accurate with the ball.
One last thing here. You think that Jamison Williams kid shows up this year, or do you think, again, he's just too – see, get this, Zander. I thought Devontae Smith was going to be like Jamison Williams, always banged up like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought so too.
I thought he was going to be that kind of player, and Devontae has – do you hear what Dotson said today about Devontae? He goes, man, you know, one of the coolest things of all time is watching how Devontae avoids contact and how great he is in finding space.
Yeah. Devontae's tremendous, man. What a
another
player.
bold prediction. You mean bottom 5, Fat Mac?
Fat Mac, I love it, brother. Keep him coming. Keep Sills on his toes because he is living in pessimism.
Fat Mac, it is going to be bottom 5 again, man. Come on here. The greatness of Orenthal Burks was added to the no-holes defense. There you go, baby. Hey, Zander, you doing anything special tonight or normal show as always?
Dan Holmes.
That's what my wife calls me.
Danny Holmes.
That's what my wife calls me. Danny Holmes.
Why'd your wife call you that? I don't even want to know, actually.
John Holmes. That's right.
No special shows tonight. We'll be back tomorrow morning on Birds 365. Good week of shows. Monday we'll have no full shows. We might do a couple hits because it's game week, so we don't want to completely go quiet there. But
he doesn't want to hide with the 45 the Packers are going to put on him. That's why.
45? You mean the Eagles are putting up 45?
Go ahead, continue what you.
I had the Eagles losing that game, remember, which is funny because when I do my prediction for the game, I'm having a hard time thinking the Packers win that game. Is it 15 wins? It's maybe possible.
40. I'm going to save it for next week, okay? I'm going to save it for next week. All right, so Birds 365 with John McMullen in the morning. Those guys do a fabulous job here. Eagles claim who?
Byron Young. I think he was an Alabama guy, wasn't he?
Who's Byron Young?
By the way, I hate to say this to you on the way out the door. No, he wasn't a Bama guy.
What position? What is he? Who is he?
I hate to say this to you, Sills, on the way out the door. Your Miami Hurricanes are going to get absolutely destroyed by the
Billy Napier's Gators.
Yep, destroyed.
Here. Let me hook you up with something here.
Cristobal will be afraid to come back on the show.
They're going to go up to Gainesville, and they're not only going to kick that ass, then they're going to go into the Gainesville city and wreak and havoc. You'll think it looks like Tim Waltz's Minneapolis. And then they're going to come out of that and go back home with Gator girls down to South Florida because they have absolutely savaged Shitsville, Florida, also known AKA as Howie Roseman's second home, Gainesville, Florida. Miami's favored to win that thing. They're going to kick the fuck out of them Saturday in the Swamp. Remember I said that. 28-7. How you doing?
I'm waiting for the Canes to not stop being the Dallas Cowboys and like maybe join us in the 21st century. You Miami,
right.
Over here, Miami.
It's
not 1985 anymore, Miami. Come on in.
This segment's over. I hate it. All right. Hey, Zander, I'll see you in the morning, man. Great stuff as always. Thank you guys so much. By the way, he comes in here and, you guys wave him in here. Please, Zander, save
211 likes. Appreciate everybody. See ya.
Yeah, whatever, guy. Thank you very much. Big Bad Sills. And really, really good guy. See, Xander's not – don't take that shit. Xander's not that good a guy. Okay? No. He's a good man. But, hey, we'll see when that team's 0-2. Shut up, Jay Brown. This is the world that Big Sills lives in. How you doing? Do me a favor. Where are we on the like list, guys? Hey, Jay Brown, that would be – respect the host, Jay Brown. Respect the host. Where are we on the like list? Guys, you guys are great. Dan, Vic had a top 5 defense in Miami that has to translate to Philly. 213. Come on, guys. Let's see if we can get that bad puppy up to at least 225 at the top of the hour. Don't forget Farzetta. is also going to join us as well. Sills, Byron Young played at Bama and Tennessee. He's a DT. Okay. I guess some of the guys you drafted, you need a little more depth there. There you go. Spare parts. Hey, no hold D. I call that thing the spare parts D. The Philadelphia spare parts defense. Another spare part. So that's a 29th guy you added. Holy cow. Hit the like button. They signed another dude. All right. Keep it here, National Football Show.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.